Have you ever noticed that when your inner world is chaotic, the world around you seems to fall apart too? It's not a coincidence. The ancients had a name for this phenomenon. They called it the Law of Correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. It wasn't just a poetic phrase. It was a principle for understanding reality. This law teaches that everything you experience externally mirrors something happening within. Your relationships, your challenges, even the timing of events, they're not random. They're echoes of your inner state, reflected back to you through people, places, and circumstances. When you're anxious inside, the world becomes threatening. When you're in peace, even chaos seems manageable. Most people live their entire lives reacting to the external, trying to fix the mirror, without ever realizing the reflection comes from within. But what happens when you shift inward first? Most people think reality is fixed, a rigid system of external events happening to them. But the mystics knew better. They didn't try to change the world, they changed their mind, and the world shifted around them. Because when your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs align in a certain way, the outer world can't help but respond. Imagine your mind as a projector. Your beliefs are the film. Whatever you believe to be true about love, success, fear, or failure gets projected onto the screen of your life. So if your inner film is full of doubt, scarcity, or pain, you'll see it everywhere. Not because it's the only truth, but because that's the version your mind is tuned into. The law of correspondence isn't a metaphor. It's a code that reality runs on. And once you understand it, you stop blaming the screen. You start changing the film. You start shifting from the inside out. Think of your inner world as the blueprint. Your emotions are the architects. Your thoughts are the builders. And your beliefs, they're the laws that shape the landscape. When something keeps showing up in your life, conflict, failure, silence, it's not always punishment. It's a pattern, and that pattern has roots within. The Hermetic sages taught that every external experience is an opportunity, a mirror, a message. If you face constant rejection, perhaps you're rejecting yourself in subtle, unconscious ways. If your life feels stuck, maybe it's reflecting a belief that says, "I don't deserve movement." But here's the power. Change doesn't require force. You don't have to fight the outer world. You only need to shift the pattern within. Even the smallest shift in your perception can echo outward like a vibration, altering people, timing, and outcomes. You are not separate from reality. You are entangled with it. If this knowledge is awakening something in you, subscribe and ring the bell. Some truths aren't meant to be missed. Every thought and feeling you hold is part of a grand design, a code embedded in the universe. Subtle energy pulses through every emotion you experience. This isn't mysticism for mystics only. It's a tangible process that unfolds as you interact with the world. When you intentionally cultivate feelings of abundance and love, you're not merely wishing for change. You are rewriting the energetic instructions that guide your life. Reflect on a moment when you felt unexpectedly uplifted. It wasn't chance. It was the inner vibrations aligning with a higher frequency. Each action, reaction, and spontaneous thought plays a role in establishing this energetic signature. As you become more aware of this law, you realize that happiness, success, and even adversity are all parts of a conscious dialogue between your inner blueprint and the external realm. Change your inner language, and you transform your reality, step by step. You may wonder, if it's really that simple, why don't more people do it? The answer lies in awareness. Most live as prisoners of reaction, unaware that their internal state is writing the script. They chase external fixes, new relationships, new jobs, new goals. But the pattern remains. Why? Because the source, the inner script, never changed. The law of correspondence doesn't wait for you to believe in it. It operates with or without your consent. Just like gravity. You can deny it, ignore it, or doubt it. But your life will still mirror your dominant state of being. This is why true transformation isn't loud. It doesn't require public declarations or overnight shifts. It begins quietly, through observation, through silence, through choosing a different response. And from that stillness, the entire system begins to update. Your relationships recalibrate. Opportunities shift. Energy returns. The change outside is only ever a reflection of the change within. There's a reason ancient initiates were taught to master their inner world before ever attempting to influence the outer. They understood that the universe doesn't respond to words or wishes. It responds to frequency. And your frequency is the sum of your thoughts, your emotions, and your core beliefs, repeated over time. This is why superficial affirmations rarely work. You can say, "I am at peace," 100 times. But if your body vibrates with anxiety, the signal is mixed. The universe reads vibration, not vocabulary. It listens to what you really feel, not what you pretend to think. To apply the law of correspondence is not to fake a better mood. It's to become a different signal, not by force, but by presence, by awareness, by recognizing when your thoughts are dragging you out of alignment and gently returning to your center. That is the true inner work, and it's how the outer begins to change without effort. Everything in your external life, your home, your relationships, your finances, is a delayed reflection of past states of being. Not just thoughts, but the emotions you dwelled in, the beliefs you rehearsed, the stories you told yourself repeatedly. These internal patterns crystallize into external outcomes over time. So when something painful appears in your life, ask, what is this showing me about myself? Not as blame, but as a doorway. The law of correspondence isn't about guilt, it's about empowerment. It reminds you that you are not a victim of chaos, you are the composer of coherence. When you embrace this, you move from control to influence. You stop forcing outcomes and begin refining your internal vibration. The shift is subtle, but the impact is profound. Because once you begin to resonate with truth, peace, and clarity, the world responds, not as an enemy to fight, but as an ally that echoes your new frequency. Once you understand the law of correspondence, your life is no longer a mystery. It becomes a message, and each moment is feedback. When fear arises, you don't run from it. You observe it. When conflict emerges, you ask what it mirrors within. You stop fixing symptoms and start shifting sources. This is not about perfection. You will still fall, forget, react. But now, you do so with awareness. And that awareness is everything. It's what turns chaos into clarity, pain into teaching. It's what empowers you to rewrite your internal code, and with it, the world you wake up to. As above, so below. As within, so without. These aren't just words. They are instructions. They are keys. And when you use them consciously, you unlock the next layer of your own evolution. The question is no longer, why is this happening to me? But rather, what is this showing me about myself? If your reality is just a reflection, then what happens when you change the mirror?